Hi, today I'm going to be presenting on food insecurity in the U.S. Here's a map of general food insecurity in the U.S. But what this map doesn't show is that there are hot spots about the size of the tip of a needle in many of the cities spread across the continent here. So, what are these hot spots? What am I talking about? Well, it's something that I think we're all deeply familiar with: college campuses. I'm going to be talking about food insecurity in college campuses. So, when I first started this project, I wondered, is there really a need to consider college students separately of the general public when we're talking about food insecurity? I mean, I myself have suffered from food insecurity once or twice, but I never considered it anything more than living in a high cost of living area. But upon a little further research, it becomes pretty clear that we do need to be thinking about solutions specifically targeted for college students. Because as you can see, the USDA in 2020 found that 5.7% of Americans had suffered some form of food insecurity in the last 30 days. But the Hope Institute found that 41% of college students had suffered some form of food insecurity in the last 30 days. That's an almost sevenfold increase. I mean, there's a lot of reasons for this. Obviously, a lot of us are going to school to get higher paying jobs, which means we probably don't have a super high paying job right now to buy food with. We also have less time to work because we're going to college, less access to food. Maybe we're in a new area, and, well, lower paying jobs, as I mentioned earlier. Based on the available research, it seemed like a three-pronged approach might be worth researching more on college campuses. The first of which, the prongs I would recommend would be micro pantries, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen around town, but it would seem that they might also fit on a college campus. They're well spread out. They could act as satellite food pantries where our current food pantry that is in a centralized location could bring food. They also offer barrier-free food access to anyone around, and they allow the community to bring in food, which can effectively reduce food waste. Instead of throwing away these shelf-stable foods, they can put them in one of these for someone to get a benefit from. And one study in 2022 found that during COVID-19, that it actually micro pantries helped to fill the gap between no food and SNAP eligibility. The downside of the micro pantries is that they're somewhat limited to shelf stable foods just because of the nature of them. You know, there's no cooling involved in there, especially in warm areas. So community or campus gardens, which we have one at Cal Poly, might offer access to free fresh fruits and vegetables amongst students. And on another plus side, they can offer soil improvements. A study in 2014 found that when compared to sites of similar condition nearby, campus or community gardens, excuse me, offered several benefits to the soil, including increased carbon storage, increased CNN ratio, carbon and nitrogen ratios, and a decreased bulk density. And another study down in LA in 2015 found that community gardens helped to promote biodiversity in the surrounding areas. The final and possibly one of the most important prongs here would be financial assistance programs like SNAP, which has been widely researched and has been around for a really long time. It was formerly known as food stamps. I'm sure many people have heard of that. One study found it to be the most wide-reaching program and one of the most effective programs in dealing with food insecurity. Another study found it to be associated with grade improvements among students whose parents participated. That study only covered high school students, but it's possible that might carry over into college level students who receive it themselves. And additionally, it can be paired with local produce market incentives to increase your fruit intake and also effectively decrease transportation of impacts, environmental impacts associated with transporting produce, like our local farmers markets. They'll match your first $15 of SNAP benefits uh, every week. So it's a great way to get some extra produce that's been locally sourced. I'd like to thank you guys for watching my presentation. And up top here, there's a link to the Basic Needs website at Cal Poly. They have a few other resources there that can help you if you're suffering from food insecurity. So please feel free to reach out to them. And I hope this has been insightful for you.